think of myself. And the fear of standing up in class and having to read in front of people was just horrifying. And now I'm writing my own book, and through my charity work I've stood up in front of audiences and made pledges and speeches and been on Loose Women, so I've learnt to adapt, and of course life now is much more understanding about dyslexia.
And obviously we have to talk about your marriage, and in the book you talk about how you first met, and it was kind of fate almost, because if your friend hadn't asked you to get Rod Stewart's autograph, you probably wouldn't be sat here now. Absolutely.
Things happen for a reason, don't they?
Yeah.
It was a Christmas party and a friend of mine dared me to go and get an autograph, and it happened to be Rod Stewart.
And what did your parents think when you said, I've got some news, I'm dating Rod Stewart?
They always knew I was more attracted to an older person. But Rod Stewart, they thought, this could come with some hurdles and problems along the way. But in fact, my dad being a lawyer in the City of London, he decided I was going to wear like a leather jacket when they met. And Rod said, right, I'm going to wear a pinstripe suit like a lawyer. So they both kind of like switched outfits for their first introduction. But they got on like a house of fire, and so did he and my mum. I suppose they come from the same generation, almost the same age as one another.
And one thing you talk about really openly in the book is IVF. How was it for you going through that?
Well, more recently, with women wanting to have their independence, and also...
Hello.
Not yet, darling. Okay. Thank you.
I thought we were going to have a number then.
I mean, there's a certain amount of injections you have to do. One's in your stomach and one in your bottom. You know, I was injecting myself backstage at Rod's shows, on planes, at home, you know, like wherever it was necessary. It came true, it worked.
And what was Rod like during that process? Because we mentioned about kind of different generations have a different kind of attitude to those kind of things.
Rod was very patient and very committed, and he just said, look, darling, if you want to keep giving it a go, I'm right behind you. Let's go for this. And he had a great sense of humour with the whole thing as well. He always talks about how the doctor put his sperm under a microscope to study it, and one sperm had 2 heads and one had a couple of feet, and I'm like, it's not tadpoles. So I think, you know, to be able to, you know, for women and men to be able to talk openly about it, the serious side, and sort of putting a bit of fun back into it as well.
A few years ago, Penny decided she wanted to do something a bit different, and she's now a special constable for the City of London Police.
It feels like a natural calling, even though that sort of sounds corny.
No, not at all.
I feel like I always probably should have been in that kind of career, and something sort of like taken me off on a different path, but I found myself now.
And just sometimes people recognise you when you're on the street and you're on patrol and they go, oh, are you Penny Lancaster?
Occasionally I do get recognised, but more often than not, I think the general public see a uniform. Maybe when I've spent a little bit more time talking to somebody, that they go, you're Penny Lancaster, aren't you? You know, but it's always been a good thing, I would say. Yeah, it's not a negative.
And I read that your husband said it's made you a bit more bossy or self-assured as well. Yeah.
Yes, okay, you could say bossy. My mum's always said to me, gosh, she's so bossy. I think someone has to be in charge, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's got to control the rowdy brew that I have. So, you know, the family tend to turn